Ohio. Boom, boom, boom.
What's wrong?
Nothing. We're live, so be nice.
So be nice.
I don't want to be nice.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Kiss. Oh, yes.
Right now, everybody's like,
No.
everybody's
Say it
like,
ain't so.
they're not doing that. No, it is a, it's
There's
not
no way.
true.
Or the other thing could be even YouTube doesn't believe that we're on.
It could be that too.
I don't know.
Does it show up that we're live?
I don't know.
Boom, boom,
Oh,
boom,
somebody
boom,
does
boom.
because there's
There's Mark.
Mark.
Naturally in season.
What's up, dude?
So I guess I don't have to do this anymore. So that tells
What were
me.
you gonna do?
I was gonna check to see if we were. Do you even listen to me when I talk?
No. Linda, what's up?
I got stuff. I got sweat stains on my glasses. Why? Because I'm in a hot shop doing something for you. And you don't even appreciate
Nobody told you to.
it. No, I did it because I love you. I did it because I love you.
Because you love me.
I love you. Just got
We literally just went live like
a half hour ago.
a minute and a half ago. So.
Half hour ago. You're late. And you will be punished. There will be flogging.
Wet noodles. I have noodles.
Hey, can you guys... Ghost is back. Did you see that?
Yes, I did just see that, but I think that was from the cord. You moved the cord.
I said, get vaccinated.
Stop.
What's up, April? Can y'all hear me? Can I get a thumbs up if y'all can hear us?
Oh man, oh man.
Where were you on the night of the 5th?
Of
Whatever.
probably in bed. Safe bet.
So, what?
With the needle and thread.
DDT. So here we are. It's like I almost kind of forgot
Smoking reptile, what's up?
how to kind of do this. If y'all can spread the word, the bird is the word, that we are live, to let everybody know. Because we have not done anything YouTube-wise for a month and a half.
I was gonna say
Excuse
almost
me.
2 months.
Um,
Hey Henry, what's up?
and we want to we're going to let everybody kind of get in here to catch everybody kind of up. The reason why we've just...
You haven't heard from us for
Yeah.
like we just disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, no Instagram, no Facebook stuff, no YouTube.
Nothing.
It's like, did they die? Did they die?
I mean, I've had people, like, I've noticed, like, people watching older videos and stuff because we haven't put anything out. We haven't done any streams. So, like, what's going on?
Yeah, we'll get back to this as it's growing back. Also, we had a whoopsie. It is hot in here.
Yes. Well, we took the AC out and put it in the house.
Yes, we did.
So. Yes, we saw that. Thank you.
It came up as a notification.
A notification?
Notification.
Well, at least I set that up right.
There's one thing you got correct today. Woo!
Breaking stuff and, I mean...
Blowing stuff up.
Yeah, Deanna said, I'd forgotten what y'all look like. I know, right?
You wouldn't have forgot if you come down here and pick up this plucker.
She's coming down soon. Hey, Grandma Karen, what's up?
Karen. Oh, COVID.
Are you serious right now? Like,
I don't even care anymore. I don't care anymore. I'm like Phil Collins. Wow.
And I thought you two just didn't let me see your videos now. I don't even know how to do that. Is there even a way to do that? Is it cooling down there yet?
No.
Kind of.
No.
Kind of.
No.
We had...
She sits in an air conditioning car all day and goes, "Can I sell you some granite?" While the rest of us are out here like, "Whoop pow! Cut my grass, Jason! Whoop pow!" Weed my garden, Jason. Whoop-pow.
You're doing a crappy job of that.
I ain't got to it yet.
No.
Move the goats, Jason. Whoop-pow.
I say,
Fix the fence, Jason.
you guys
Whoop-pow.
know I say absolutely none of that. Like, none of it. I'm too busy selling granite all day to do that.
Get a baby velociraptor, Jason. Whoop-pow.
Yeah. So, well, overall, the time I've been viewing your channel, it's done it to me a lot. Yeah, I've heard somebody used a term the other day called shadow. Maybe some of y'all in the small YouTubers Facebook group can help me out with this. It was called shadow something, shadow blocking or shadow something, where like somebody had been on, and I almost commented on it about they had been on YouTube for like 8 years, and they were posting, and then they kind of stopped posting, and then they went back to posting, and now they're only getting a couple hundred views. You know,
I wonder if that's what happened to us.
I don't know. I mean, I just
Everybody needs to send YouTube an email and say, "We love Big Bear Homestead. Stop.
Hey, Raven Cat.
Stop the hatred.
How are you doing,
Stop the
Cecilia?
hatred towards.
Shadow ban. That's what it's called.
Stop the hatred towards Big Bear.
Shadow ban. That's what they called it, and I don't know what that is. So I thought it was interesting. I'd never heard of it before.
You haven't heard of a lot of things.
But yes, this is very true.
So, since we only got 9 folks in here right now, but I think that's
I feel like
not.
there's more
Well,
than
I
that.
just jumped to like 17.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna say.
I want to give it a few more minutes, and then we will try to catch everybody up.
He thinks he's funny.
Who?
My son just sent me that picture.
Well, that's your son, not me. TNS Dog Dragonfly
Hey,
Farm.
you
What's
just
going on?
marked on me.
No, I didn't. Can't prove it.
Amanda.
Is that
Yes.
Is that our friend Amanda?
Yes.
Up there next to our other friends?
But you can also block someone and their videos won't show up in your feed and you have to manually look them up. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that I know, but I didn't know shadow banning. I don't know what that's called. Like what that is.
There's no mark on you. I saw
Not anymore.
Nope. That's the funny thing about dry eraser. I could give you a tattoo and then you could take a shower and it's gone. Let it go, let it go.
So, 20-ish.
Okay, so we're in the 20s. So here we go. Everybody else, people come in late. Y'all catch them up. Y'all catch them up in the side chat.
Catch 'em up. Oh,
I haven't seen Crystal yet. Or she in
the
there?
bear's dancing.
Oh, the bear was. How come we
How
didn't
did we
get it?
not hear that?
Oh, because I didn't set the speakers up yet.
Oh.
It's okay. It'll be alright. Okay, so let's try to catch everybody up.
The last we said we were not going to do our live streams because...
Oh, I was going to go back further than that.
How much further?
I was going to go back to the Memorial Day weekend. Because that's really when everything started to spiral.
City girl, who is this? Am I seeing things?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a figment of your imagination. Okay, go ahead.
This is not the homestead you were looking for. Anyway.
So Memorial Day weekend.
So Memorial Day weekend. If you guys recall, we went back and we learned that Delma
had a calf.
had a calf. And there's a video for that back there.
Mm-hmm.
So we brought up Delma, but at the same time, we noticed Calf Pal's bags were huge.
Yeah, we were pretty sure that she was going to calf like within a couple of days.
Within
We
a
were
couple.
really
Yeah,
pretty
we were-
close on that.
We were close.
Yeah.
But, so we brought the 2 girls up here. We put Delma in first oink and went ahead and put Calf Pal in first moo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was a huge deal for us because Delma we thought was lame. We thought that she was just not going.
Well, we thought she was infertile.
Yeah.
We didn't think she was going to be able to have any calves.
That was the lame part.
Well, lame kind of implies like a horse, like they can't walk or something like that.
We're not talking about horses. We're talking about
whatever.
cows.
Anyway, infertile. You know, when we were out there, you were like, if you're going to be like this, I don't want to go on. So
if you're going to be like this, not me. Not me.
Such a butt face.
I know, right? Stop it. Stop it.
Anyway.
So, brought them both up. Delma with her calf pal there.
On the other side. Mm-hmm.
Well, Freckles.
No. We thought, before all that, we thought she was going to have her baby, so we tried to do a live stream. And if any of y'all were in that live stream, you got the first taste of what was going on, because we were live streaming and they started coming up the hill. And Jason was like, what the crap is going on here? So we had to cut the live stream short. Yep. We pushed them back, thought everything was okay.
Yep. Well, over the next couple of days,
I kept going outside to check and see if
Freckles wreaked havoc, and we done a video on that too. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen that one, I think that was titled "This."
Like ruined Memorial Day.
Ruined Memorial Day weekend. Blah blah blah.
Something like that.
And so, from that moment on, we did everything that we could possibly think of to keep Freckles in the back where he belongs.
And for those of you that have been on our property know that we actually have 2 gates. Like, we have our back pasture. There's a middle fence line there with a gate. Then the front pasture, middle pasture, has a gate. And then it goes across the dam into our front yard area, right?
Yeah. So, we pushed him all the way into the back. He busted through tore up some fencing there. So we reran some barbed wire fencing.
We went through almost 3 spools that were 1,200 feet each.
No, there's going to be a video coming out kind of explaining all of this and about him in more details. Hopefully here pretty soon we'll be able to get the last little bit of footage that we need to get to be able to slap it together.
Emma 3010. Hello.
What's up, Emma? And so he just started wreaking havoc on this homestead. He started busting gates. He started busting coops, chicken tractors.
He was lifting chicken tractors up with his horns, flipping them over, letting birds go everywhere, putting holes through hardware cloth.
He broke 4x4s. He broke gates. He broke
pushed
fencing.
The door open on the turkey coop. I mean, like, it was ridiculous.
So, needless to say, and that was right about the same time Jess and Jeremiah were moving, and we were supposed to go help them a lot to be able to go over there, start to help them get fencing set up, stuff. And I could not leave here because,
well, we were afraid that at any point in time. Now, at that point, we still had our surrounding fence, so we got to the point, and this is where it's really interesting because there's something called normalcy bias, and we had gotten to the point, we had been so stressed out and frustrated that we had accepted the new normal was just as long as we could keep him in our property, it didn't matter if it was in the front, it didn't matter if it was in the back, it didn't matter. As long as he stayed on our property, we didn't care. Because I would go out into the front yard, and every morning I would have my cup of coffee, I'd go out there and he would clean up the grass around my beds. Every morning he'd come down there, he'd eat all that grass, and everything would be great. He was fine.
It would get to the point that we would fix the fence and he'd stay back there for a day or two.
And then he'd come back up.
And then he'd find another hole. And then we'd fix that. And we would, when I talk about we fixed it, we just reran
whole new lines.
whole
Like
new lines.
we didn't do anything halfway. We went ahead and just totally I'm talking like resetting fence posts, cutting out brush to be able to make sure that it's. Jason and the girls did a bang up job with all the fencing, and it didn't matter. It did not matter.
To the point where we were running sometimes to try to get up here to do the live stream on Saturday nights because we were still out there doing fencing.
That was one of our last live streams.
Yeah.
We were like, we can't keep doing this.
That was one of the main factors of us pumping the brakes on the lives was because
we didn't know what we were running into.
We were battling this.
And we were exhausted.
He's like, oh, it's Saturday? Yeah, you guys ain't gonna go live today. Boop, I'm gonna pop this, or boop, I'm gonna pop that.
Yeah.
And so long story short, he's eventually even started getting outside of the perimeter fence. Well, let me back up. I was supposed to go over there and help Jeremiah pull fencing, and we couldn't get to it, to the point where Jeremiah even loaned us his tractor for a couple of days.
Yeah, run more fencing.
To be able to bush hog a bunch of stuff, run more fencing, to have it to be able to pull in different places, to be able to clear stuff out. And when this video comes out, you guys are going to see how much fencing we pulled in like a couple week period. But it didn't matter. He literally started taking the metal gates and turning them into the letter U, and he would push right through it.
Right through.
And so what we did do though is let Carol go hang out with her godfather and help them out there for what, like a week? A week. Then when
that was 4th of July weekend, I went back to go pick her up.
Robin went back to go.
Hey, Anita.
Pick up Carol from Uncle Jeremiah, and on her way home, see Robin has this place in her heart that she doesn't let out that often, except for when she's like by herself or she's with the girls. See, you remember, for those of you that are my age or older, you remember that old Jan and Dean song, Little Old Lady from Pasadena? Was about the old grandmom who was a hot rodder.
I'm so not a hot rodder. It's not.
Robin was on her way home from picking up Carol, and they got in hot rod mode.
No,
and
you weren't even there.
No, but I'm just going off of what Carol told me.
Carol's a liar. She is you. Basically what happened is there was somebody going 35 on a 55 because I think she was lost and didn't know where she was going. So I just went to pass her. And as I accelerated to pass her, all of a sudden...
Boom! Shallock lock boom!
The really loud noise. I thought I blew a tire. That's what it sounded like to me.
I wish it was a tire.
Yes. So I pulled over, and as I started to pull over, I started losing control and power over the car.
Yep. She blew a hole in the side of the block about that big.
Now, thank God, I knew exactly where we were because I have driven that road so many times for my my sales route that, I knew precisely where I was. The only problem with that was I also knew that the internet out there and the reception out there was ridiculous. So I even told Carol, I was like, grab my bag, grab our drink. We may have to hoof it a mile or so just to get cell service. And so we had to walk a good bit to get up to be able to call Jason. And I couldn't even call him. I had to text him because the signal was just so weak.
Yeah.
That all I could do was just blurbs, which was horrible because I'm telling him the car is dead and he's trying to ask me a million questions, and it was very frustrating. But, so anyway, no Prius. Prius is dead.
Prius is gone. Prius went to Prius heaven. Now, for those of you in the great state of South Carolina, I love y'all. I absolutely love y'all. Your state, not so much.
Hey, D.
So we started... calling people that we knew that could possibly come and pick them up. Because I jumped in Robin's company car, drove it. They don't watch anyway. Drove it to where they were, picked them up, and so. But while we were there, we cleaned out the car.
Mm-hmm.
Took my veteran's tag off because I was told when they handed me this tag that if the car ever broke down, take your tag because veterans tags get stolen a lot because in the state of Georgia I don't have to pay for my tags.
Right.
As a combat veteran, I don't have to pay for my tags. I get like two or three tags.
2 or 3 tags, something like that.
So we took my tag off, loaded everything up in the car. One of my friends that's around here, he buys junk cars. Figured if nothing else, I'm gonna get $300-400 for the Prius and be done with it. He'll have it, and then we can take that $300-400, put it towards, put it in a savings account, build up, and eventually buy another car. Well, he couldn't come. It was Sunday.
It was Sunday.
It was
4th
Sunday.
of July was actually on a Sunday.
So he couldn't come out on Sunday because he was out of town. He got back Monday late, went out there Tuesday and the car is gone. Car was gone.
Yep.
And I was like, wonder where my car went. So we started calling around. The great state of South Carolina decided that car was considered stolen and abandoned, considering taxes weren't paid on it since 2014.
Yeah, so the tax record said that we hadn't paid taxes on it since 2014, but that's because...
It's a veteran's vehicle.
Well, not just that, but the year that we bought it was the first year that Georgia has you pay your taxes up front, and then you don't have to pay subsequent taxes.
Yeah.
So you only pay the taxes one time. Every year after that, it's literally just your tag.
Mm-hmm.
And since we don't have to pay for a tag, there was no tax history or anything on the car.
So they called some guy. He picked it up, towed it.
And so they didn't even wait. Normally they wait 24 hours or something like that.
No,
and
they picked it up straight away.
Yeah, they literally, as soon as they pulled up on it, ran everything.
And
ran the VIN.
And so, long story short, I called my guy back. He said, well, what does he want for the towing fee? So he ended up going up there to pay the towing fee because I flat out told him I'm not paying the towing
to get it out.
it out. If you want it, you pay him and be done with it.
So that was a couple $100 we could have had
that was gone.
Whatever.
So we start perusing for a used car, and holy moly, used cars have gone through the roof right now. I don't know if anybody has looked for a used car, but they are crazy stupid.
And not just that, but if you have a car that you want to trade in right now, trade-in values are way up. I went a couple weeks ago to get my company car, get the oil changed on it, and they literally had a list in the waiting room of cars they're looking for. If you have one of these cars, we are looking for it. Mm-hmm. And it's right now it's crazy. And because of the situation with all the chips with the new cars,
yes,
that's why used cars are becoming a hot commodity. So that being said, we don't have a vehicle right now. All we have is the truck that we go back and forth to pick up feed with, and then Robin's company car. So if there's anything that we ever need to pick up at the store, we try to make sure we know beforehand, so that way she can pick it up on the way home. So we're just going along, business as usual, right? We figure we'll get through this. At the end of the day, we really don't need a car. We can wait until prices come back down to normal, or we find one that, is willing to deal with. In the meantime, I started looking around to try to fix my old mail Jeep that I had that blew the transmission and the 4-wheel drive transfer case. Now, the problem with that is if it was a normal Jeep,
I'd have had it done and running within a week. I just pulled the old tranny, old transfer case out, threw a new one in there. But this one is right-hand drive. So
Jeez.
that kind of pumped the brakes on that one a little bit. We're still looking to find a new transmission for that one.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any ideas or suggestions on where I can find a transmission or get somebody that can rebuild that transmission for me, go ahead and shoot us an email, please. So we're cruising along, business as normal, right? I'm out with the lawnmower one day, cutting the grass. We're clearing up an area. The mean girls with Barney and Betty and Wilma are just, they
Killing
are
it.
machines. Boy, these Nigerian dwarf goats, they are just clearing areas, and we're going in there. And we're really starting to open up the homestead. And then I'm out there mowing. I have a Craftsman push lawnmower, not self-propelled, push. Why? Because I'm fat. I want to lose the weight. So, boom, we're pushing, right?
And keep in mind, the lawnmower's 3 months old.
Was it even that old?
3 months old.
3 months old.
3
Right.
months.
I'm pushing along. Ka-clang, ka-clang. I jump in the nick of time. The blade whoosh, 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 whoosh,
Comes right off.
comes right off. Just mists the bottom of my feet. Well, there's this little piece right here.
And the other side of it is somewhere.
And the other part
In
is
the ground somewhere.
in the ground somewhere. But this was what was kind of holding the blade on. And it went kapadinga. So then that went. Well, we're still under manufacturer's warranty, right?
Sonny's place. Hello.
So Robin gets on the horn with Lowe's. Lowe's says, no, you got to contact Craftsman. And that's when everything just went spiral right down the hopper. Craftsman is not what they used to be, y'all. And it's very disappointing and it's very heartbreaking.
Yeah, Craftsman sent me to a place that we were already not
It took a couple of weeks.
Well, I finally had to, because they'd give me an email to contact them. I emailed this lady, gave her all my information. She took like a week to get back to me to tell me she wasn't the person to take care of it, that I needed to call this number, which was the number that I had called to begin with. Yeah. So I call the number. I get, a warm body, and she says, this is where you need to go, who you need to take your mower into. We've used the guy before, and I wasn't crazy about having to take my stuff there, but since it was warranty work, no big deal. We take it up there. Carol and I took it up there, or Ladessa and I took it up there. They put a tag on it, and they're like, look, well, we're a little bit behind, but we'll know something by the end of the week. Mm-hmm. We hear nothing from them all week.
Oh, nothing.
So the next week I call them, and I'm like, I'm trying to check in on my lawnmower. And they're like, we haven't even looked at it yet.
Didn't even look at it.
So by midweek, I called them back, and I was like, look, I need to know what's going on with my mower. And this lady proceeds to tell me that they have the parts on order and that they should be here soon. And I'm like, so I guess that means this was a warranty claim. And she says, hold on a second. She comes back. She's like, well, no, it wasn't a warranty claim. I'm like, so you ordered parts without my authorization to work on my lawnmower. If I hadn't called, were you just going to fix it and then try to get me to pay for it? And she was like, well, and I was like, how much is it going to be? And she's like, well, it's going to be this for the part and da-da-da-da-da. So it'll be under, doesn't tell me an amount, under $100. I'm like, okay.
So she calls me and tells me that, and I'm like, we only paid like $180, $190 for the mower. Why am I going to pay another $100 to get it fixed? I'll just go buy a brand new one.
Well, the other thing that ticked me off is that then after she told me it was going to be under $100, I was like, just go ahead and fix it. It's fine, whatever. And because I knew how frustrated he was with not having it.
Yeah,
because our grass had gone up like super tall.
Almost to the point like when we first bought the place. If you guys have been around for a while, you know that this homestead was abandoned for like 6 months before we were able to take possession of it. And there was grass and weeds that had stalks on them almost as thick as some trees. It was getting that bad around here.
So she told me, she's like, well, I said, well, do you know about how long it'll take to get it fixed? And she was like, well, we still have to order the parts and they're in. And I'm like, hold up. You just told me you ordered the parts and they were supposed to be, like, they're here or whatever. Why are you telling me now you have to wait for parts? It'll probably be a couple weeks because it's on back order from China or something like that. And I'm like, I am getting the worst vibe from you right now. Like, I don't trust anything she's saying whatsoever. And I told him that when I called him. I was like, look, but I don't trust this lady. And so he was like, well, pick it up on...
Tell her not to touch my mower anymore. If it's not under warranty, pick it up. We'll take it to Johnny's. Because Johnny's the guy here in Hartwell. We take a lot of stuff to Johnny. He's done a lot of work for us. He's really good to go.
Right.
And so, sure enough, she picked it up, dropped it off at Johnny's. It took them a week or so to be able to get the part in and get to it. Boom. And I got my mower back, and it's working.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the last 2
2
weeks, I've been doing pretty much nothing but cutting grass. Had to go up to the high setting and then start to walk it back down.
Mm-hmm. And then in the meantime, we had another storm, so it caught back up with you.
But in the meantime, while all that happened, Robin's out here editing a video.
Before that, this happened first, didn't it?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
So, Robin's out here editing a video, and the old computer just went wah, wah, wah. The graphics card went out. It was the audio card.
The audio card. I started editing, and the audio card was like, eh.
Yep. So the audio card went out.
It's attached to the motherboard.
And it's attached to the motherboard. So, me being the ultimate genius that I am, leave it. We figured out a way.
Whoa, no, because he's probably in here, and that's not cool.
No, when we just plugged it straight into here before he sent us that stuff.
But it didn't... Right, but we got audio, but it didn't help with editing the video.
I wasn't going to say it helped with the editing of the video.
Okay, whatever. So, yes, we were able to
Thank you for interrupting, and you just took my story flash and made a flash point and put it on a whole totally different timeline. What I was going to say.
That's what we're going to do. Anyway, go ahead.
So I figured out how to get audio back to where we could hear stuff, but the problem was Adobe wasn't registering it, so we had to try to figure something out. Well, in the meantime, one of our long time subscribers reached out, talked with Robin, sent us something to try to basically circumvent that part.
And it worked.
Except for the fact that Robin was able to get that garden tour video out, and then the motherboard completely crashed.
Like the next day, Jason comes out here and he's like, computer's not even firing up. And I was like, that's amazing.
The computer was like, oh, you want to bring in something that don't belong to me? Okay, peace.
How did that go again?
Peace. So, we said, okay, here we go. And so we started scrounging, selling everything that we could sell to try to raise the money to be able to go get another computer. In the meantime...
Because now the priority is the computer, not the car.
Yeah.
Because we've had to literally like prioritize everything now. Like this has been an ongoing thing.
Well, in the meantime, I'm kind of frustrated. I can't cut the grass. I can't really do any projects around the homestead. I am completely dead in the water. And so I just started going through my subscriber list and started watching some of y'all's videos. And I came across a single dad Chris from Single Dad Homestead, and he was talking about getting back on the Dave Ramsey plan and how he was getting motivated about it. Well, he got me pumped up, got me motivated about it. Robin and I sat down on it and talked about it and said, you know what, we're going to get back on it too, because we did it before and it really helped us get out of some holes. So we started selling stuff like crazy, got baby step 1 done, and sold enough stuff to be able to get a computer, because this is how, I don't want to say you rationalize it, but this was our thought process. The computer helps us make YouTube videos, which in return helps bring money.
It's not a lot, but
Right.
it's enough.
Right.
It's enough to justify it.
Helps bring money into the budget.
Right.
And so that's basically kind of like one part of my job. And if I don't have the tools, I can't do my job. So, blammo, we got a computer. We hook up said computer. We're getting all kinds of excited. We got like 3 of these carts, because we never stopped filming. 3 of these micro minis that go in the GoPro.
Full.
To the point where the car shot out of the GoPro in midair, looked at us and said, I can't take any more. I'm full. I'm like a tick. You put one more thing in me and I'm a pop.
I'm gonna explode.
And it just fell on the ground. That's a true story, by the way. And so we've got a bunch of these cards, but we can't dump them into our external hard drives because we ain't got nothing to hook them to. So the first computer came in. I'm super excited. Robin is setting stuff up. She's getting stuff going. Wada bing, wada bang. Went to go start dumping a card. Boop. Because the computer came in the afternoon, so she got... And if anybody ever had to set up a computer from the beginning, not one that you get at like Best Buy that's got
Where they set it all up, like you buy it and they take it back to the Geek Squad and they set all your settings up. So all you got to do is bring it home and plug it in and you're ready to go.
She was our Geek Squad. And it's not like it's hard to do.
It's just time consuming.
It's just time consuming. So she got all of that done. We come out here the next day, which was a Sunday. Super excited. We were fixing to start dumping cards, editing videos, high-fiving, chest bumping, booty shaking, getting ready to put stuff out.
I had even the day before, I had put Adobe on it, so I had Premiere ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yes, first computer.
It wouldn't turn on.
Wouldn't turn on.
It would turn on, but all we would get was the Dell logo on the screens.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Now.
Went to Best Buy.
No, wait.
Oh no.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah, that's right.
So then we had to wait till Monday to be able to call the company tech support that we got the thing from. Called them. They said, well, you got to call back on this day when somebody will be able to help you.
No. You called at like 4, no, I called, and then you needed to call back because you were in front of the computer.
Because I was in front of the computer.
Right.
So I called, and so this lady was like super helpful. We started doing through everything. We had to take the side off. We had to check all of the RAM because we got 32 gigs of RAM on this computer. And I know a lot of you that know computers, y'all going to be like, whoa, that's a lot of RAM. Adobe to run 1080p takes a minimum of 16. We shoot a lot of stuff in 4K, so we need that extra right? So boom. So she had me pop out the RAM and push it back in, and we went through doing everything, and I spent like almost 2 hours on this phone, to the point where I know the lady transferred me to her cell phone because her daughter was at school waiting on her.
Oh my goodness.
And so I knew she was in the car, and I hope they're not listening and I don't get her in trouble, because she was still working with me in the car. She must have hit a dead zone and dropped.
Yeah.
And then
you
of
had
course,
even taken it inside, hooked
it
up to the...
Because I had to pick it up, hooked it up to the smart TV, still didn't work right, blah, 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 blah. They were trying to say it was the HDMI cords and blah, blah, blah. So Robin came home. I said, I am done going back and forth with this. Let's go. Because I changed out like 3...
You got it fixed.
I'm going to DDT you.
Bring it. Bring it!
Wah! Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I got it semi-working. To the point where I was even able to kind of get on Facebook, doodle around on the internet. Turned it off, shut it down.
So excited.
Went back out to the shop. Robin came home. We went to come out here. Boop,
I was like, oh, I'm going to start editing tonight. I turned it on. Nothing.
So I ran through the same process that I did to get it to, because what happened was when I took it in there on the smart TV, I ran through these bunch of different processes, and it worked. And so then I ran back in here and hooked it up, boom, got it to work, went through the internet, went through, Facebook, playing some online games, everything. Whammo. Yes, I'm the man.
I know. I was so excited. I was like, you got it working? He's like, I'm out here playing games on it right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Come home.
The daggum thing didn't work. I told Robin, that's it. We are going to Best Buy.
And I feel like that was a Friday, so I couldn't even call them to be like, hey, what's going on? So we tried to troubleshoot ourselves over the weekend.
And I said, I think it's that little junction cord that they have. Let's just go get a straight cord.
Yeah, because we're going display port. There's a display port for the video card, I guess, to the HDMI.
So, came back, brand new cords.
Nothing.
So then we had to wait till Monday.
Nope.
No, Monday was a holiday. Monday was Labor Day.
Yep.
So then we had to wait till Tuesday. Robin called him on Tuesday. Told the lady everything that we'd done. We went out and bought brand new cords, blah, 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 blah.
And I told her how frustrated I was because I'm like, look, I'm a YouTube creator. I've been without a computer now for almost 2 months, and this is getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah. So, the lady said, okay, bam, I'm going to email you the shipping thing.
FedEx.
Put it back in the box. Boom, email me as soon as you drop it off at a FedEx location. Robin took it out the next day. Bam, bada bing, bada bang. Dropped it off at FedEx. Thursday, they finished building it. Friday, they shipped it. It got here today. And now we are live because of that.
But I'm scared to turn it off.
Yeah, we're a little afraid to turn it off. But in the meantime, during that whole process of trying to do that, right? Because we were going to give up and start trying to do stuff through Adobe Premiere Pro Rush through our phones, right? So that Adobe has a thing where you can record on your phones and then even edit on your phone. It's called Rush, and then be able to post it straight to YouTube. It has all the descriptions and stuff that you can fill out, all that stuff right there. Wada bing, wada bang, wada boom. So that's what we were getting ready to do. So I wake up, get ready to film a vlog. Wada bing, wada bang. Hit the little button on the side, and that was my screen. Nothing. It was black.
Heirloom permaculture, what's up?
So I told Robin, there's something happening with my phone. She said, what do you mean something happened with your phone? I said, this screen is black. It won't go. So
but then I called it.
And called it. And it didn't pop up, but it was ringing. And so I used the force. It was literally a Jedi trick. And I was like, well, this is usually where that green answer button is. And so I smashed it and pushed up. And I was able to answer the phone.
But that's it.
And she's like, well, it looks like your phone is, you know how she gets sometimes.
They had that. Who's they?
Huh? Women. It sounds like your phone is fake, so quit playing around. Get out there and make a video. I said, I did
Yes,
not.
the screen is cracked, but that's not what it... Anyway, go ahead.
I said, well, I kind of guessed where the answer button was. I said, I still can't see anything. So we start Googling. She finds this thing about try doing this, and this, because there's supposedly some type of a virus or whatnot that goes with these brand new stinking phones.
Hey, Heather?
That we'll give you this black screen. And so I did all of that.
Nothing.
Then Robin's.
Like 2 days later.
Yeah, 2 days later, Robin's goes out. And so Robin's like, that's it. I'm calling AT&T. Because, I mean, y'all seen when the internet goes out. Multiply that by like 10.
Because now I can't do Instagram. I can't post on Facebook. I can't check YouTube. I can't do anything.
So she gets on phone. Now, what I'm getting ready to tell you, this is hand to the Lord, the gospel truth. I'm not making this up. So, coincidence? Y'all be the judge. Robin is on the phone with AT&T, raising all kinds of cane because they're saying they're not going to cover our phones.
Because his is cracked. Mine, like the second day I had it, before I got my protector in, the back of it, I just barely dropped it on something, and the back's got a little bit of a crack on the back. So neither one of our phones is covered by the warranty.
Yeah.
Because of how we had gotten everything, we had signed up when we were at Sam's Club.
And then remember, I said brand new phone. They didn't even have the protective case there for us to get while we were there. One. It had to be ordered.
Yeah. So we didn't get the insurance on the phones. That's our bad. We should have done that. And actually, there's part of me that sometimes doesn't even agree with that either, because you pay on it every month, but then you still have a deductible when you have to, call it in. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I'm just against those anyway. So then...
Is that your son?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then...
Me up too.
So then I say to the lady, I'm like, look, I'm getting really frustrated with you guys because I don't think that it's a possibility that you sent something to our phones so they wouldn't work, hoping that maybe we've had the phones for 6 or 8 months and, whatever. So anyway, I told her, I was like, I think this is all a bunch of crap. You should still be trying to, do what you can for us. No, nothing. They won't do anything. I am reeling. I'm so mad.
She literally, she said, what's the payoff to close out our account? They gave her the number within 30 minutes.
$1,600.
Within 30 minutes, my phone started working again.
Yeah, his phone works perfectly fine now.
Perfectly fine, but Robin's does not still.
Mine still will not come up. Amanda, we have had it checked. To fix my phone is $350 from you break it, I fix it. $350. I just don't... we don't have that money just lying around to justify me getting one.
You've got the personal phone. My phone is working again.
Well, so, I've got my business phone, but I don't use... I'm very careful about...
So if you've been sending Robin text messages, Marco Polo's...
Calling
her, and she's not answering. She's not ghosting you. That's the reason why.
I have no way of communicating.
The best way to get a hold of Robin right now is through Facebook Messenger. And that way, because she's able to access that on her business phone. So if you've been trying to get a hold of my lovely bride, that is the way.
Yeah, the back damage is also, that's exactly right. He said that when they go to pull that off, it would crack the back too, yeah. So they would have to replace both.
Yeah. So
$350.
So, yeah, somebody put in there, it sounds like a plot to some type of Greek tragedy. That's where it kind of felt like that's where we were, we've had a load of stuff just dumped on us at one time. And there was a time that I was in my secret place and I was praying, and I was at that point where I told Chris when he came down, I said I felt like I was having a come to Jesus meeting with Jesus, if that's even possible.
Yo, we need to talk.
And but as I was all in my feelings and frustrations, as I was talking to the Lord, I came back in the house, and across the stereo came on Casting's Crowns one song, and in the lyric in the song, it said, "Your world's not falling apart; it's falling into place." And that lyric right there hit me like a ton of bricks, because at that particular time I felt like everything was going sideways. Everything was going just 800 different directions, and our world was just falling apart to me. And as I was reaching out to some of the people that we're close with, some people would say to us, "Just keep doing what you're doing. You've got to be doing some things so right, because the devil is attacking you." And I'm like, I don't want to be attacked, and I know it happens, but that lyric hit me. Your world's not falling apart, it's falling into place. And I used to know the name of that song. I can't think of it right off the top of my head.
Just because you're trying to think of it, because you tell Alexa to play it all the time.
Yeah, I played a mess out of that song now.
Mm-hmm.
But that to me, when God put that lyric in my ear, and there's also there's a lyric that it says somewhere in another one of their songs, is about, you have to be quiet and listen during the storm, because you got to be able to hear his voice. He's talking to you during the storm. You're just not listening because you're focusing on the storm and not focusing on God.
Right.
And when I heard those, that's when it felt like everything started to.
Well, I feel like, at least for you, and correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
I feel like you were getting just beaten down constantly, because a lot of the stuff that was happening here. And so, like, with the cow and everything that was going on with that, like, it was just a constant, like, oh, we thought we did everything right. Bam, no, we didn't. Thought we got everything, bam, no, we didn't. And so that was a constant, like, almost like a reminder of failure for Jason. So that was beating him down to where he was just like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Like, we had a storm come through, and when you guys
Good night, Farmer Brad.
When you guys see this footage, it'll probably break y'all's heart too. The brand new fencing that we put up, one section was going this way, one section was going this way.
Just be held.
Yep, that's it. We had a big fat oak.
Right?
Right.
Not
there.
a pine, an oak.
Oak. Big old oak. Right there. We just used it as a corner post. Storm came through. It picked that oak up out of the ground and laid it down. Didn't hit any of the fence. It just took that whole corner spot.
Of the fence.
And just laid it down. Bam. And I was like...
Yeah. So what I was saying with all that is that had beaten you down so much that, I don't want to say depression, but like you were really like in a funk, which was totally understandable.
Yeah. There was a mixture. There was probably a little bit of depression in there.
Mm-hmm.
There was, because I was getting frustrated because the grass and everything was getting taller. It was getting to the point where it was taking over the raised bed, so it was kind of costing us a little bit in food because you had to be like Jumanji, and you had to go out there and as your grass gets taller, your grasshoppers get bigger.
I forgot about the weed whacker. Weed whacker busted too.
Yeah, weed whacker busted too. The brand new weed whacker, the head part just fell off, and of course, Home Depot is the worst when it comes to honoring any type of warranty, whether it's manufacturer or what. I will not buy anything from Home Depot anymore unless it's like a box of screws or maybe even some PVC. I don't even know if I'm gonna buy PVC from them. Anyway, so. And it was just, it was
rough.
It was rough. It was wearing me out. I felt at the point, I kind of felt almost like I was helpless.
Yes, the grandpa tree is still standing.
So, like I said, I heard that lyric, and it gave me hope.
And then the lawnmower came back, and so then you were able.
Hope is there's a reason why people in prison refuse to have hope. There's a reason why POWs refuse to have hope, because hope is a very, very powerful emotion. Hope is a very powerful thing. Hope can carry you through a lot of tough times. And that lyric gave me hope. And then, wham, the lawnmower came back. So I was able to start to attack. Because, I mean, we've got 7 goats. There's only so much 7 goats can do.
Do we even have 7?
Yeah, we got 7. Negan made 7.
Oh, Negan makes 7.
There's only so much that 7 goats can do. Trying to move a bunch of calves up here that are not really used to the electric fencing. Busts, they broke the smart fence, so we just left them back there so that way they can try to help keep the pastures under control. But they're not able to keep up with that either. But the lawnmower came in and I just started cutting. I spent like the first 2 days it came back, I must have went through 10 gallons of gas.
I'm gonna get my $180 out of that thing.
To the point where the girls were coming by with a water hose. Shh, just open your mouth, Daddy. Just open your mouth. But we had Camelbacks because we had a viewer bless us with Camelbacks. So I had my Camelback on. I must have went through like 7-8 liters of water a day. Because it was so hot, but I wasn't stopping. And if you ever been to our place, that front pasture up there at the front, from the gate back to the house, I cut all of that. That was probably chest high. I cut it all with this push mower. It just didn't quit.
Carrie, what's up?
We cut up the front yard. Now I've moved all the way to the back by the shop where the red barn and stuff is, and we're attacking that. We got the path down by the muscadines going again, and I'm getting energetic and stuff back with it, but it's also heartbreaking. What?
Nothing. Yeah.
Because I go past where the strawberries were, and it's just all weeds and stuff again because Freckles ate all the strawberry plants, all 100 plus strawberry plants. He ate all them. That was another thing that he done. So
got to start all over with that again this fall.
yeah, next month we got to order all of that again and go in there and clean it all out. But hey, we will keep moving forward.
Because we've had some good things happen in the meantime. We have been blessed with a very good muscadine harvest. We've somehow managed to get quite a few tomatoes.
We were able to sell some cows. That really kind of helped us get through some stuff financially. To the point where we got baby step 1 done. We've got our emergency fund funded. And we had a total of 4 bills that are credit cards, credit kind of things. And so far we've got 2 done, working on the 3rd, and then we got the really big one at the end. So we're hardcore knocking
That's another good story.
knocking on the door to having baby step 2 done. And that'll be completely out of debt except for the house. And then we'll be able to start to fund our emergency fund to get the 3 to 6 months of bills in there. So we have a lot of positive things going now. I think we're out of the doom and gloom. We're out of...
For now. Until the next time comes along.
So it's got to be negative Nancy.
So Lost Dude said, don't you know anyone with a tractor and a rotary cutter? Well, this will tell you just how much bad luck we are.
No, it's not bad luck.
Yes, it was.
No, I refuse to. No, we had to go through this to be able to mature better as Christians, and we had to be able to get through this to stretch our, like Jess was talking
Trust
with us. We had to stretch our trust muscle here with our faith, and that's what this was doing for us. But I do have a friend. As a matter of fact, he's one of the guys that bought one of the quarters of the cows. he came over with his tractor, with his bush hog, and was going to bush hog some stuff, and went to start bush hogging, and something caught his attention, and he ran into a tree and put a branch right through his radiator. So that sat out on our property for a week or two. And
he had to come back and fix it.
He had to come back, fixed it, then he mowed for a little bit and took his stuff back to his place. So, all that being said, I feel like we are moving forward. We're able to stretch our trust muscle more. I think we're able to, at least for me, I feel like we're in a positive place now. As long as this thing keeps working.
The nice thing about all of it is that we've had a couple of things, and so this is how I'm choosing to look at everything. One of Jason's biggest complaints was always that I was always in my phone, even though he probably spends more time on his, for the sheer fact that he does a lot of brain games and things like that. But he spends a lot more time on his phone than I do. I think it just seems like it because when he's trying to talk to me, it seems like most of the time he looks over and I'm on my phone.
And in my defense, there's a reason for the brain games, and we're probably going to let that cat out of the bag here pretty soon.
Anyway, regardless.
I mean, you throw me underneath the bus for that.
Because I haven't had that distraction, I have been able to focus on really hammering out. One of the big things that we were having a hiccup with the house was me being away and then not having a set plan for dinners and lunches. Mm-hmm. And it's very important during the summer because they need that fuel to keep going during the day. And so I have been able to focus over the last month on making sure that stuff is taken care of and written really, organized. And I've kind of gotten, they say, it takes, 28 days, 30 days to make a...
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
Excuse me, to create a habit. So now I've kind of gotten in the habit where I make sure that on Fridays, I already have the menu done. And this is all because of things that have happened, right? So we chose, instead of getting upset about the car and getting upset about the phone and all these other things, we've tried to turn them into positives. And one of them was, I always go through where I go shopping on the way home from work. So I can just stop off, go grocery shopping on Friday on my way home. So now we've gotten into the habit where Thursday we make the menu, Friday I go shopping, I get that done, and then Sunday night after the last thing we wipe everything down, write up the new menu for the week. Why are you smiling?
I love you, brother.
Stalking?
I love you, brother. So now that we've acknowledged that you're here, does this count as my phone call? Just asking for a friend. So
where is he? That's funny.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But you know what? You reminded me of something. That was another thing that when I was having my come to Jesus walk with Jesus, and I'll put it to you, this is about how long I walked. When I walked up to my spot where I do my laps.
Something happened. What happened that you had to do that? That was
yes! The battery! Yes! The fire!
We
forgot about the fire! How did we forget about the fire?
No, we had so much. I'm telling y'all, we are not making this up. We had so much stuff happen. So
this is funny. This, not at the moment.
It was not funny.
But this is absolutely hilarious. Okay? We're out, we're all out doing stuff. And I walk out, I come in the house because I had to drop a deuce.
We were cooking.
Y'all were cooking.
Right.
And so I come out of the house and I smell something. And I'm like,
And you walked. We were still in the house and we smelled it, and I thought it was
the neighbors
No,
smoking.
at first.
Oh.
Then I thought it was the ceiling fan.
Yeah, then she thought it was
So
the
I'm
ceiling.
like,
yeah,
tell
because,
the ceiling
by
fan.
the way, we've gone this entire summer with no
air
air
conditioning.
conditioning because of the leaky roof that's above my pay grade. A critter got up in there and tore up all of our ductwork. So we have to go in there this winter and repair that.
That's why the air conditioning unit is not in here. It's just in our room at night. So we can sleep. And
So
then
we've
the
gone
girls
this
have
whole,
their fans and
whole
everything.
summer without AC.
So we had the ceiling fan.
The attic
fan was on.
which really haven't been that bad, and it would have been a lot better if I'd have been able to have that port
that
the
hole
porch
fixed, right?
fixed. Which I think hopefully today he come back out and repaired some more stuff, because we thought we had it, and then we had a big heavy rain, and one spot where he was worried about, well, it leaked from there. Anyway, so, whew. I'm like, well, that's my neighbor smoking.
Yeah, you just kept walking.
Yeah, because it smelled like cigarettes. And so I was like, whatever, it's my neighbor smoking.
And then I thought it was, and then here's the other thing is our exhaust fan over the stove is right on the on the back side of the front part of the house.
Yeah.
So as it was pulling stuff in, I'm still smelling this, and I'm freaking out because it smells like something is on fire inside our house.
Yeah.
And so I send the girls out to go get Jason. I'm like, oh!
So the girls come out. The attic this is what I get told. The attic fan is on fire.
Meanwhile, I've turned it off, but I can still smell it.
Fat boy running.
What's up, Sydney?
So I get to the house completely out of breath. Probably this close to a fat guy heart attack. There's benefits to being a fat guy. One, you're not going to get kidnapped.
Nope.
Not at all. Two, nobody's really ever going to challenge you to a foot race. Bad thing about it is that way when your teenage daughter said the attic is on fire, you almost give yourself cardiac arrest running. Because, see, there's two problems when a fat guy like me starts to run. One, it hurts the heart and the lungs. Two, it's going to hurt some part of my body because you get this much moving at that high rate of speed. You've got to stop via a wall, a tree, chain link fence, a door. Something's got to help you stop. So, I come running down the walkway, and I just see a whole bunch of smoke. So, I'm like almost in a full-blown panic. And my first thought process is, we have a fire drill protocol. Why is my family still in the house?
Because we couldn't see any fire anywhere. That was the problem, is all we could do is we could smell an immense amount of smoke.
Okay. Did you
fire,
just hear what I deal with?
No heat.
I hear what I deal with.
No heat. None
We
of that.
couldn't see the fire, so we're just going to stay in the house. Meanwhile, flames are flowing all out
There
of the
were no
attic.
flames. That's what I'm telling you. It's like
Coming
we
out
didn't
the
see
front, going to drop a big beam on their head, but I ain't think of fire.
that. Anyway.
So I go.
We're still trying to locate where this is coming from.
I start pushing through the smoke. I'm coughing and hacking because all of a sudden it has this.
It's
this
a cat.
rich to it.
Horrible.
And so I get in the house. I grab I call it my VA mask, because I don't wear a mask out in town. But I have to wear it to be able to get into the VA, which, by the way, I'm not going to be allowed in the VA anymore. Learned that this evening. They literally are going to make you take a COVID test right then and there before they let you in the building. So
You can take a COVID test.
I'm not taking nothing to stick that cancer stick on my nose.
Anyway.
And so I get my RZ mask on. I go back out to try to locate where this thing is coming from.
Because we're starting to think that it's outside the house.
So we bought a long time ago. We bought the Ryobi battery-operated lawnmower and the weed whacker. I bought the lawnmower because, in my mind of thinking, this is before we lost a lot of cows because we had to put Delma down. By the way, I'll get back to that. all I had to cut was a little front yard, and it was a tiny little lawnmower, so that way I could get around Robin's Tetris raised bed garden. Well, that stupid Chinese piece of junk lasted like 6 months, if that. And then it just died. But the weed whacker was still going strong.
So we had 2 batteries.
So I had 2 batteries for the weed whacker. Well, we took the battery off of the weed whacker and I stuck it
on the porch.
On the porch. Put the weed whacker up. All of a sudden, because I had to put the weed whacker back on, I had to put it on a charger, and the charger was in the house. That's why I put it out there. So I find the battery, and the battery is just smoking, like Cheech and Chong smoking. And so I reached down to grab it, I touch it, and it was like hot, like, oh!
Like more than boiling hot.
Yeah.
Like more than
like
boiling
second
water
degree
hot.
burn on my fingers.
Yeah.
Hot. Bam.
Hey, Windswept, what's up?
So I run into the house. I get the
because we had
welding.
a fire. Right.
Well, I got the fire extinguisher and I got the welding gloves. Because with my thought process with the welding gloves was, it'll give me some insulation enough for me to get it and toss it out into the yard to get it away from the house before it explodes. So
tried to use the fire extinguisher.
I grab it with the welding glove on, toss it out into the yard. About the time I let go of it in my hand, it goes to hit the ground and a tiny little pop happens. Don't you touch it no more!
You had already hit it with the fire extinguisher and it didn't do anything. We hit it with the fire extinguisher when it was still on the porch.
Okay, yes, we hit it with the fire extinguisher. So I threw it out into the grass.
Yeah, he's trying to get it away from the house because it's not stopping.
I empty the fire extinguisher on this thing. Nothing's stopping it. I call my neighbor who works for the sheriff's department and the fire department in Elbert County. He said, we've never dealt with that. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to tell you.
He goes, I tell you to put water on it, but it's a battery. That might make it worse. And I said, well, what do you think I should do? And he said, call
the fire department.
Call the fire department and get them out there and see
what's going on.
Tell them what's going on and see what they can do. So 911, call the fire department. The moment the fire department picks up, right, or the 911 operator picks up, I'm telling them what's going on. Boom! This battery explodes. Boom!
But it's still in one piece.
No, it wasn't in one piece. It wanted to hold back in because it shot something into.
Right, but what I'm saying is
pasture.
the overall integrity, it still looked like a battery. It wasn't in like a million pieces.
No, it wasn't in a.
Right, it was. Anyway.
It wasn't a suicide bomb. It sent piece to the point where the lady on the phone heard it. It sent a piece into the pasture next door. I said, look, it just, you heard it explode. It just sent pieces into the pasture next door. I need a truck out here now. Boom. Truck pulls up.
A couple little boys in there.
I got like 4 firefighters out in my front yard going, I don't know.
And they're in their t-shirt, it was like a Saturday afternoon. So they were in their khakis and boots and t-shirts.
So they're having a powwow.
My daughter's like,
on what to do.
We got the Walmart version.
And so we're all sitting around there, and it starts cracking and popping. The one old guy just reaches down, grabs the hose, and just unleashes.
Yeah, they unroll it, and
they just start spraying the crap. Smoke's going everywhere. And they just poured water on it for a good 5 minutes.
Watered my garden. I'm like, that's okay.
Then they stopped, and it started bubbling up and started smoking again. And so they went into the truck. They got this Jaws of Life looking thing. I mean, it wasn't as big as a Jaws of Life. It's like a hand, almost like a snake stick kind of thing. But like a snake stick on steroids. Asked me for a bucket. I gave them a bucket. They filled the bucket up with water, picked this thing up,
and dropped it
in there, and moved it out, put it over there in one corner. One corner, and they said, don't touch it for 5 days.
And literally, y'all, for 2 days, 2 to 3 days, it was still bubbling.
I was like, what? What do you mean, don't touch it? And I said, well, what do I do if it just starts spewing water and everything like that. They were like, starts doing that, call us back. We'll
Figure something else
we'll,
out.
We'll Google something. Try to figure.
It was so funny because the one guy kind of favored Luke Combs, kind of looked like him a little bit.
Stop.
So the girls are cracking up. They're like, Mom, we got the Walmart version of Luke Combs. They get this from me. Whenever I'm uncomfortable, I make jokes. I try to like lighten the mood.
Yeah, she does.
And so they have gotten that from me. And so you could tell they were very nervous about what was going on. We were watching through the glass because Jason had made us close the door so that we weren't anywhere near it. So we're watching through the panes of the glass, and they pull up, and you wouldn't know they were firefighters at all. Like, they were just four guys in khakis and t-shirts. Like, somebody said you probably interrupted their PlayStation game. Probably.
I think that was Cattywampus, wasn't it? Because didn't I see them sneak in here?
Because they were probably...
Cattywampus is in the house.
They were probably volunteer fire...
Yeah, they were part of the volunteer part.
You know, so and they were, like,
we had that.
And the truck was the old ratty one. Like,
no, I like that truck. Don't be dogging on that truck. That truck was awesome.
It's the old one.
That truck had like trunk boxes. That truck was cool. Like, if they ever go to decommission it, I will buy that truck.
But it was like the antique truck, not like this fancy schmancy
I want that. They were pulling stuff out of compartments. I'm like, wow. That truck was cool. So back to
so when after that happened and we had everything under control, that's when Jason was like, I've had enough. Yeah. I'm walking. I will probably not. Like, he just disappeared. He didn't even tell me. And this was back, our phones were still working at the time. And so he texted me and he's like, before you start looking for me, I'm up at the church walking the track. I'll be back when I'm
done.
Calm down.
So during this 2-hour walk around this come to Jesus meeting with Jesus, basically I left that conversation with God and it was about perspective. And I had to sit back and think about everything that went down that we had to deal with. Freckles busting fences.
Hey, Karen.
Getting everything.
I'm gonna open this door.
Okay. You know, Freckles breaking out like he was doing, and all that stuff. Well, one of our game plans is to get Hereford and Highland cows. We got 2 pastures back there that we want to separate them. Well, Highlands are expensive cattle, so the perspective was, stop looking at it as he's ruining everything. He's showing you where all your weak parts are in your fencing, so that way you can fix that before you go out and invest
these expensive cows.
In these expensive cows. The car blowing up with Robin in it.
Well, we had known, the thing we hadn't really told him, we knew this was coming. My car had 300,000 miles on it.
And so it was going to blow a big honking hole in the
Jason was starting to get nervous driving. Like, he was trying not to drive the car a lot because we were trying to baby it.
Yeah. Well, it started making noises. I had to replace a water pump on it, which was extremely weird.
Yeah, it was another thing. We had to do
replacing a water pump on a Prius is like when you're used to having to have gaskets and sealants and stuff. It's a horse of totally different.
So we had even tried to fix a couple of things to kind of prolong it a little bit. You know,
the perspective was okay. The car blowing up with Robin was able to let me be in hero mode to go and rescue Robin and Carol, versus frustration mode because I'm on the side of the road.
And you
Robin's in North Carolina. I'm on the side of the road with no cell signal, just being mad, frustrated, and just having a really bad day. So that was the perspective with that. We
hadn't had the phone thing or the computer thing happen yet.
Yeah, the computer thing and the phone thing hadn't happened yet. You know, the whole battery thing was just kind of like a preparedness thing to prepare us, get us thinking more outside the box kind of thing to teach us more about. Happen to have a specific fire extinguisher for that. Even with tonight, learning about you should have put salt in the water and that would have helped.
Yeah.
That's okay, cool. That's an awesome thing to have.
Lithium and water do not mix.
So it was all about, I left that conversation with God being with all about perspective. And then the Lawnmower app, and then more bad stuff started happening. And then that Casting Crowns lyric came on, and it really kind of put things in perspective with, at least for me, on how things are going. Being able to stretch my trust muscle even more, strengthening my faith to remember He's in control. He's got it all. He's got the bull by the horns. And what's going to happen is going to happen. But so it got us on the Ramsey plan, because it forced me to stop, take a break.
And that's how you got...
And that's how I got going on watching Cattywampus videos, watching Single Dad videos, watching Naked Gardener videos, Mama Z videos. I was just going all over the place. And then I went down a rabbit hole about Karens, and that's don't ever do that, because that'll really mess you up, because it's some funny stuff.
Okay, so Delma. What happened with Delma?
Delma was doing fine.
We did a video because she got through. With dairy cows, when they calf, they are extremely susceptible to... I'm a little upset that you haven't called me.
She's talking to you.
I haven't...
They get... Their immune system gets weaker because it's the stress of...
I think even women, generally speaking, it's a lot on the body, so it just...
Pish posh. Thought y'all were tough. So she got that respiratory disease. We showed you guys what we did with that, and she was rebounding perfectly. She was
weight back on.
Great. Her bags was filling up even more. She's putting weight back on, coming through it. We were in the back fixing fencing. Came up at the end of the day, and Delma was down.
Well, the preview to that, and I don't know that you knew about this, but we were milking, and one morning they got out, remember? And so she's talking about you. So we were trying to push them back, and remember we were trying to get her into the milking stanchion, and they kind of got loose. Well, when they got loose, she hit a corner and she slipped and fell, remember? She slipped and fell, but she got back up. So everything was good. Well, then the next day, we went ahead and put her, she was back in the stall, everything was great. We came up and she was down. So that's the only thing I can think of, is that maybe
that might have been it.
It could have been it.
Because she seemed to have stepped wrong,
twisted something.
And unfortunately with dairy cows, if they step wrong, sometimes they can pinch a nerve. They can get themselves paralyzed. Mm-hmm. And once they are down, if you don't get them up right away, within like the first 24 hours, you pretty much lost the battle. Mm-hmm. Now, we were going out there every couple of hours and rolling her, aggravating her, trying to get her to get up. She would still eat and drink when we would bring food to her. So it was very
promising. We thought that we even tried using a cattle prod with her, just to try and give her a jolt.
We were trying to aggravate the snot out of her to get up. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, we took Nemo and put him in with Calf Pal, because she did have her calf. And we stopped milking Calf Pal because now we had 2 calves on her. And so we started doing everything. We called the vet. He said, just put her down. That was his answer. Just put her down. She's been down too long. There's nothing I can do. Mm-hmm. You can try giving her this vitamin shot to see if that perks her up. Blah, 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 blah.
We tried a couple things.
So I was at with my acupuncture, because this was before the car blew up. And Doc said, well, let me come out there. Let me try.
Like, what?
I'm like, what? He said, yeah. He said, we do, I've been known to do acupuncture on horses down in Aiken, South Carolina for some of the big races. He goes, I make a lot of money doing it that way. He said, but I've never done a cow. So let me come out there.
Let me see what I can do.
Let me see what I can do. So Doc gave it his all. He came out with a bunch of long needles.
And he made her move. I mean, there were a couple times we thought for sure she was going to get up.
And he tried everything, and he even tried the electric shock therapy.
Girls are doing good.
And with where he would put the cattle prod on the needles.
Yeah, to give it the electricity jolt.
Give it to the electricity jolt. And those were the ones that we thought she was going to get up with. And the girls were out there. We were all out there trying to help. And after probably about an hour and a half.
I don't even think I felt that long, but I think it was maybe 20 or 30 minutes.
He did everything he could. He pulled me off to the side. He goes, I think she's paralyzed.
Yeah.
He said because at a bare minimum, the spots where I stuck her when I hit it with the cattle prod, her leg should have moved. Her leg should have moved, and her leg didn't move.
Yeah.
So we put her down and took her to the back. And
fortunately, there's another perspective thing. We had Jeremiah's tractor at the time, so we didn't have to try to figure out a way to pick her up and put her in the truck.
And we were able to drag her right back there.
Drag her back there.
And so
put her in a boneyard.
We did that, and that's what happened with her. So needless to say, since Memorial Day,
our summer has been
rough. So I know Cattywampus is in here now, and I know you usually correspond a lot with her during the week. And I don't know if she knew that your phone was busted, because in all honesty, it's probably my fault, y'all, when it comes to stuff like that, because I've got the same folks on Marco Polo that Robin does. I just didn't reach out to anybody and say, hey, by the way, if you want to try to get a hold of Robin, just use Facebook Messenger or whatever. So, Cattywampus, if you're wondering why, it's because Robin's phone is busted.
I promise I didn't ghost anybody.
And it's my fault that I haven't told anybody.
Oh, and another thing, I started to try and use my computer to help with my laptop, to help with the at least with Facebook, trying to get back in touch with Facebook, help contact people, let them know I'm still alive, and my computer screen busted. And so now I only have half of my computer screen. So I have to make the window smaller and kind of look at the edge of it, but it needs to be fixed. So it's and the whole computer works perfectly fine because I take really good care of my stuff. It just so happened that I think Apollo stepped on it or something.
Don't blame Apollo. The poor dog's been gone up to heaven now for a year.
I know.
And it wasn't like that. Don't blame that dog.
No, it was an accident. It was surely an accident.
Lagatha. She stole Lagatha from me, by the way.
No.
Lagatha made Robin her person.
I'll tell you, that is the dangest thing, y'all. We bought the dog with the intention of it being Jason's dog, right?
I spend all this time.
Refuses.
I trained her. She all her commands. I spent the time with her. I trained her. But what does she do? She jumps up on the couch and goes cuddles with Robin.
Every time I come home from work, she acts a fool. She acts like she doesn't even it's ridiculous. She goes crazy that I've been gone for 9 hours. And then she'll sit and she crawls up in my lap and literally pushes herself on my chest and pushes me up against the couch and just won't move.
Bring us Lagatha, please.
She won't move for 5 minutes? She just presses on me and just stays there. Her new funny thing is she'll get one of her toys. I'll ask her, I'll say, where's your toy? and she'll look straight where we keep them. She'll look up at it. I was like, "Do you want to play?" And she'll start wagging her tail and getting all kind of, excited. I pulled her toy down today. We started playing with it, and then I was done playing. Put it down on the floor. Told her to lay down and play with it on the floor. She chews one of the pieces completely into pieces. It was 3 rings.
Yeah. These non-destructible toys that they supposedly have for dogs. Lie.
She chewed right
Took her
through
like
it.
5 minutes.
So she comes over to me, grabs the one ring, and shoves it in my hand. And I'm like, "I'm not playing with you." And I put it down. I put my arm up on the side of the couch. She jumps up on the side of the couch and puts it. Come here, baby.
Come here. Show everybody how big you've gotten. Come here. Come on.
Up.
Up.
Can't nobody see you. Oh, you're getting big. Come here. Up here. Oh, you're a big doggy.
This is how big she's gotten.
She's still bigger.
Yeah.
This is how big she's gotten.
You're gonna hurt your hips, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Get down. Yeah, so she favors all of us. She's not, every morning when I get up, she'll come and sit with me. She doesn't like me being on my phone, so she'll put her head on the phone.
Yeah, she does not like it when people are on the phone.
She'll try to knock my coffee over so she can drink some of it up off the floor. And then
Now, I told everybody you are mommy's girl, and you gonna come out here and show out like this and try to show everybody that you loving on me, huh?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is she really does? She really does.
You gonna talk for everybody?
Love
Talk.
us all.
Talk for 'em. Come on, talk.
She's not gonna do it
Just
for
close
you.
your eyes.
No, she's not gonna do it for Daddy. She won't do it for Daddy.
So,
This is my baby. Come here, Pumpkin. Come here, Pumpkin. Oh, come here, baby. Yeah, come here, baby.
so what were we talking about before we talked about you stealing Agatha?
Here we go. Hey, baby. Hey.
So-
Up. Doc's waving at you, Des.
Hi.
He was asking about how his girls were. Female Rotties are a lot more verbal.
Very verbal.
I gotcha.
She knows Kung Fu, too. She knows
Wanna
Kung
play
Fu.
Kung Fu? Get it. Now, I know that sounds bad, but she's not being aggressive at all. She's talking to us when she does that. She doesn't try to bite. She opens her mouth, but a lot of times it's because I'll stop playing with her and she'll grab my hand and be like, "No, I still want to play. I still want to play."
She's very, very verbal.
But then, see, that's what I try to tell everybody. Like, some people have heard her, and they're like, "Oh my God, is she okay?" Like, no, she's just, it's almost like a
Laptop
a
screws are easy to
giggle-ish kind of
replace.
thing. I don't know. But she'll get excited with us, and she'll make that noise. She'll get to make that noise. And then I'll tell her, "Stop being rude." And then she stops.
So, so with all of that being said, that's what has...
Sorry.
Don't make me take you back inside.
That's where we have been pretty much since Memorial Day. You see what Yellow Rose said?
Yeah, I know they're easy to replace. I just gotta buy one, and that's, again, you got $350 for the phone, $100 for the screen. So yeah,
We're hardcore attacking baby step 2
Yeah.
right now. We literally have 2 left, and
one of them will be done
we,
November.
Yeah, we're hoping to be debt free minus the house before Christmas. That's what-
Stop.
Yeah, huh? That's
No,
the goal.
she's going
Oh.
after my shoe.
So that's
Right, so we're trying to focus on that more than we are trying to fix all these other things. We're just trying to roll with it.
because at the end of the day, Robin has her business phone. She can't do Marco Polo. She can text message if She can remember your phone. See, here's another valid point. 10 years ago, no, not 10 years ago. Let's just say, because we're getting old now. What do you got?
It's a bone. I've already checked.
Out. Okay. Robin would have had everybody's phone number memorized. Mm-hmm. She would have got on that work phone and been able to and sent y'all a text message. Mm-hmm. But since cell phones have come out, since we've moved past the flip phone.
Well, and now everything is Google based.
Yeah.
So once you put it into your Google, no matter which phone you go into, you okay?
That was like it though. I'm blaming you.
We're live, and you're gonna come in here.
Lagatha.
She can stay.
No, she's trying to blame it on Lagatha. But
Okay.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like I used to know everybody's phone numbers, but at this point now, and then like with Marco Polo, a lot of y'all I had on Marco Polo, I didn't even know your phone numbers. It was just you sent me a request, I had it, whatever, and that was it. So that's the other thing is like the only person I've really, like I haven't been able to talk to Dee from Louisiana because Dee doesn't do Facebook anymore. So I wasn't able to reach out to her on Facebook. The only person I've really talked to is Deanna, and she's going through some stuff right now, and so we've kind of been checking in on each other every day to make sure everything's going all right. But other than that, I've been dark.
If y'all do Facebook and want to try to get a hold of Robin, hit her up Facebook Messenger. That's the best way
To get in touch with me.
Get in touch with her, because I personally feel that because of how new these phones are, they should be under some type of manufactured warranty or whatever.
Well, when we ordered them, they weren't even, like, they hadn't even come out yet. They were still, like, we had to wait on them for another week or so before they even showed up.
And so, the fact of the matter is they didn't have the means for the protective cases to be, there's a whole rigmarole with that. But that's neither here nor there. That's for us to take that battle up with them. But
I would love to get it fixed. It's just way out of the budget right now.
At the end of the day, we're Generation X. We're the toughest generation out there.
I just got to start hijacking your phone and taking your phone and using it for Instagram in the morning. That's all. Because I miss Instagram. I wasn't done. You've been doing it to me all this entire live stream. So, just saying.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Okay. I've got all the time to message you now.
So
not for long, I'm sure. I feel it.
I don't remember what I was going to say. So, we're Generation X. Okay? We're the toughest generation out there. Mm-hmm. We just have to remember that we're tough. We have to remember that we grew up in a world where these things didn't exist. We grew up we also grew up in that same world where the Russians were going to drop the big bomb all the time too. Which, funny how history repeats itself.
Well, it did make me realize how much I do use my phone for stuff. And that has been difficult because, like, there were times when you're like, hey, did this hit our bank account? I don't know. I can't do anything with it. And the other thing, I don't know how much y'all do this, but, like, a lot of times, if you have an authentication on any of your accounts, you have it send to your phone. Mm-hmm. Well, if you don't have your phone, you can't authenticate.
I want to interrupt you again because I want to address this comment about Gen X had it easy compared to the boomers. The boomers raised us. So anything that y'all went through, y'all made us go through. There's a reason why the I don't give a part of our brain doesn't exist. It's because we were raised by boomers.
But
There's a reason why sarcasm is our main language, because we were raised by boomers.
So let me tell you my perspective though on boomers. And this is present company excluded, because you guys are all some of the nicest people I've ever talked to, met, whatever. But the boomer generation,
Now, this is coming from her experience when she worked at Arby's.
and even now, the majority of your Karen experiences are coming from that generation. So if you look at the age, it's that age group. That entitled attitude has come from, and I watched it all the time when I was at Arby's. I watch it now if I go out to get something to eat and I watch the attitude on some of these people. A good portion of them, I'm not saying they're all this way, but a good portion of them are that older generation. And it was really a mind screw for me because when I was little, my grandparents were awesome. They did their own thing. They raised their own money. They paid for their house. They had money in the bank. They were able to retire.
I think that because if you think about it, and this just hit me, I think that some of it...
Looking up average age of Karens.
I think that some of it also has to do with the difference between city living boomers and country living boomers.
I don't know.
Because, well, if you think about it, a lot of your experience came from Augusta at Arby's.
It was Grovetown, and
Okay,
that was
stop.
not as
Stop.
city as it is now.
No, but you had dealings with everybody from it was in the CSRA. Okay, it's the second largest city in the state of Georgia. Pretty much knocking on the door to being the first.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that you're dealing with some of those out there, and I know you're going to disagree with me, but are coming from your bigger
Karen,
things.
I'm going to tell you, every time I use the term Karen, I always think of you because I think it is so unfair.
What your dog getting
That's
into?
why I always ask the girls because they know a lot of different stuff, that's culture stuff. And I always ask them, like, where did the term Karen come from? Like, is there a specific Karen that, like, that's why they call them Karen? But I do. I always think how unfitting of a name for it to be a Karen because Karen is just not like that at all.
And because there is definitely a different attitude between country folks and city folks. There is a huge difference.
Well, that's again why I said not all. And again, most of these people
Are country folks.
That's what I'm saying is that none of these people would ever be in the group that I'm talking about. Not even close. So, but when I saw the way that some of that age group, so back to what I was saying, when I was little, my grandparents were in their 60s. So I expected the average 60-year-old to have a certain amount, because they all had a sense of decorum and manners and things. And when I grew up and I'm taking care of these 60-year-old people, I'm expecting them to behave like how my grandparents did, my reference of what a 60-year-old is supposed to behave like. And all of a sudden, I'm like dealing with these 60, 70-year-olds, and I'm like, what in the world? I mean, I had a woman throw food at me.
Yep.
Throw food at me.
You probably deserved it.
Whatever.
So, I got another thing. So, if we ever come to visit and you want some grade A form of entertainment, and I've learned this when I basically didn't have anything really to do, is to turn on YouTube. Let Robin sit down and get ready to watch. Turn on YouTube and put in the search engine car crashes.
Now, before he goes any further with this, most of y'all in the chat know that I had a car accident.
Oh, you were
2
like this
years
before
ago.
the car wreck.
No. 2 years ago, I had a car accident
Okay,
where
okay.
I flipped the car.
Let's take a little bit of a pop quiz here. Raise your hand that if you're watching a romantic comedy and the main character does something off the wall that you scream at the TV and call him stupid.
Right, but what I'm saying, I'm not saying that I don't react to stuff that's on TV. What I'm saying is the reaction, what you were getting ready to say is that it is comical for you to watch my reaction. My eye is literally twitching right now. Watch my reaction when there are these absolutely horrible car accidents.
You try to kung fu kick the TV sometimes. You're like, wah!
Again, why?
But you're like that if we're watching a horror.
PTSD!
Okay, so you weren't like that. So you didn't act like that when we watched the clown videos.
That's different. I'm
How's that
talking
different?
about you brought up the car accident videos.
Yeah, but
Yeah. I miss watching those Marcos of you watching the videos. See? This is how messed up my husband is.
Messed up. I just have dark humor.
Lauren will message you, Robin. We're off to nap. Jason has to work overnight. Ugh. All right. Y'all have a good one. Trigger warning. I was just in a car accident this past Saturday. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't wish that on anybody. It was
But
it was
even the
scary.
clown,
It was
even
horrible.
the okay. I'll let me rephrase then. Okay, any type of like the scare cam ones or the clown ones are the absolute best.
Anything that would make the average person jump just a little will make me rip.
Robin's like a cat when you throw it a cucumber, boy.
Jason, okay, we bought a couch, okay? Jason made sure that the couch was very long, like it covers our whole wall. He sits on one side of the couch, and I sit on the other side of the couch. I am not allowed to sit next to him when...
Football games, the news.
Football games. We watch
the news. Romantic comedies, horrors, sci-fi. Like I try to watch Aliens with her. Yeah, that's not happening again.
That was bad.
Total Recall. No. We're gonna watch them. You're sitting all the way over there. Put both girls in between us.
Yeah, the girls won't even sit next to me now. Because I grabbed one of them the other day and she's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, I'm sorry. But the car accidents are really bad. There was one that he showed me that I told him it stuck with me for so long that Carol and I were driving to go take the lawnmower to Johnny's, and we came up on an intersection, and I saw it was one involving a livestock truck, and he just blew through a stop sign. He just didn't see the warnings for it and blew through it, and another car hit him, and it was bad. And I found my anxiety level went through the roof when I got to that stop sign and I was like,
well, see, I use those car crash videos. I'm going to tell you right now, I use those car crash videos
for the girls.
For Carol.
Mm-hmm.
For Carol right now, because Carol's getting really close to the driving age.
Mm-hmm.
To show her how fast stuff like that can happen on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I started with the clown stuff like that because Carol wanted to watch one, and then of course I was like, seriously, why has nobody shot one of these clowns? Now the guy that had the pit bulls in the back of his car, when the clown come up walking and he just opened up the back hatch, now that one I almost peed my pants laughing so hard at that one because when they got a hold of that clown, that one.
But we do. We
funny.
use those as a teaching
thing.
tool.
You know, because and then same way with the road rage videos, I use them as a teaching tool, just to educate them because
show them
how fast things can go from being a normal everyday day to straight sideways, and the next thing you know, you got some Yahoo banging on your window that you need to spray with wall spray.
Yeah, so we've definitely used that. But
So I'm not being very full all the way malicious by having those car crash things on, I do have a reason for it, and it's not just
It's to watch me.
not to just watch Robin. That's just the icing on the cake kind of thing. So.
Oh, jeez. It was a teenager that ran a stop sign and we hit them. Ugh.
So we're gonna go ahead and kind of wrap this thing up. We've been on almost 2 hours now. We told you guys the entire thing of what has happened to us, why we quit posting on Instagram and in the nation and Facebook. We just really, the tools were kind of jacked up. So hopefully, this computer will fire back up in the morning, and we will go to putting 3 videos out a week if it's working. If you don't see a video this week, then you know we've had to ship this computer back, and then ending up having to get our money back. And we're talking with Morgan Gold from Goldshall Farms. If you guys have not seen what he's been having to deal with,
you need to
go check that out. Because that'd be very interesting to hear. I might ask Morgan if he'll come on the show and him and I talk about it, what he's going through on ours. We may do a live stream with that with Morgan on here with you guys, because it's very interesting to me what's going on with him up there in Vermont. So go check out what Morgan's got going on. Be very, very interested to see where some of y'all land on this particular topic. But he suggested that we go to the Mac Mini, because we can build it up to get the 32 gigs of RAM and edit, relax, and be able to get it to where that is where it's good to go. And he said he's been using the Mac Mini for like forever. So that's
and he uses the same programs.
Yeah, and he uses the same programs that he does. Okay, you guys stay vigilant. Keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention. Read the writing that's on the wall.
Yes, hound hunters. Right
now, there's a lot of things going on in the world. Keep your ear to the grindstone. And remember, we have a constitution. If you don't know your constitution, there are pocket versions of the constitution that you can pick up. If I need to get one in your hand, send me an email. I have a contact, Old Ways New Times. She will send you a pocket version of the constitution. Everybody needs to have that and read it. There is a lot of things going on in this country right now that is borderline just unconstitutional. Also, if you're not going to get the vaccine and it's going to cost you your job, make them fire you. Make them fire you, because then you can file for the unemployment and all that stuff. Make them fire you. That's my opinion on that. If you do break down and get the vaccine, you get the jab, remember, because your employer made it mandatory, if you have any side effects after that, Workman's Comp should pick up the tab and force it to make it happen. We have a lot of stuff going on in this country. Get prepared. Stock up on food. Stock up on the stuff that you need. Because even if you take all this vaccine stuff out of the scenario, and you just look at the plain fact that our supply chain got interrupted in 2020 because of all the lockdowns, those ripple effects are still taking place. So there's going to be more shortages in your grocery store. There's going to be more things. I'm not saying run out there and buy 800 pounds of toilet paper. What I'm saying is if you see stuff that you guys normally eat in there, pick up an extra can. Pick up 2 extra cans.
There's a lot of things. We were talking about this with the girls earlier. A lot of things people don't. If you don't deal in distribution or logistics, some of you don't know because you just don't deal in it. But like I was explaining to the girls, a lot of times when we order something, it'll take 3 months before it gets to us. And I think Canadian Prepper had a video out where he talks about that. Well, we had some things happen that a lot of people didn't realize happened. Of course, we had the COVID stuff. We had factories shut down. Not a lot of workers came back to work after all of this stuff. So you got that. But the other thing is you had things like the Suez Canal. That backed up stuff. For a couple of weeks, we had containers just sitting out in the water waiting to be brought into port. You don't have as many port workers. I know we had Yellow Rose in here earlier, drivers.
Come get the dog.
Just in my business, 90,000 drivers less this year than we had last year. So all of that stuff put together can cause a huge hiccup in the supply chain.
Ripple effect.
So
there's going to be there's a lot of ripples that are still left to come. You have this mad exodus out of the healthcare system. And let me tell you something. Nurses, doctors, janitors, candy stripers, if they still exist, nurses' aides, nurse practitioners.
That didn't sound good.
If you are exiting because you don't want to get the jab, we support you. We love you. We're behind you 150%.
Leave the door open.
There are now when it comes to these ripples that what we were talking about with the supply chain and stuff. Start making. You're gonna have to make the effort, but visit your local farmers market. Visit those kinds of things, so that way maybe you can get in contact with a local farmer and buy directly from them, and you can, be able to balance that kind of stuff out. We have to learn how to eat in season. Eat in season.
And we've been doing that. That's another cool thing we've done this year.
We have to retrain ourselves to eat in season because of these supply hiccups. And this, believe it or not, in my opinion, all these supply hiccups are a blessing to me. And this is why. Our food system is broken. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Our food system is broken. It is broken the moment that a 2-liter of Coca-Cola became cheaper than a head of lettuce or some broccoli, good, healthy, organic food. When we have food deserts, those things make our food system broken. We're seeing Joe Schmuckatelli out there, everybody else that was looking at us when we decided to start growing our own food and flicking their noses up and calling us tinfoil hat people and all of this other stuff, are now reaching out to us going, how do I make this tomato grow? How do I do this? Because it has opened their eyes. It has opened their eyes. And so reach out to these people if you live in an apartment. I always say, and I use Mama Z as an example, she grew a lot of food in containers. She grows a lot of food in containers. You can do that, but you can also go to these farmers markets, develop a relationship with these farmers, because here's the thing, even some of your commercial type farmers are coming into this intense grazing style of farming because they don't have a truck driver to come pick up their 200 head of cow or 500 head of hog and take them to Tyson to get them butchered.
And also getting the corn that they feed them to keep them going is not coming as often, and it's costing more. So if they can intense graze their animals and not have to feed them as much, and it takes a little bit longer to get them done, that works for them.
Yeah. So you'll be able to pick up a half a cow or an entire hog cheaper than what you're going to be able to end up having to deal with in the store, and you don't have to stress about whether or not it's going to be there. If you don't have an Amazon account, get one. Because if you listened to Walter, to Walter the other day, it's not a far leap for us not to be able to go to the grocery store unless you're vaccinated. So get yourself an Amazon account. That way you don't have to even go out and deal with that nastiness. Just have the stuff that you would normally buy just delivered to your house.
It's like the toilet paper. You can actually, on some of the stuff on Amazon, you can set it up as a subscription. Like if you need to get cleaning supplies once every 2 months, you can set it up and they'll just bill you and mail it to you every 2 months.
Yep.
That's how we do toilet paper. We don't ever buy toilet paper in the store anymore.
And we're going to be expanding that. With some items, you may end up paying a little bit more, but at the end of the day, I look at it as I'll pay that extra 25 cents to know that I'm going to get it every 2 months.
And not just that, we don't have a car that we could put it in right now.
So there's that. That's some stuff to just be thinking about doing. Guys, the writing is on the wall. It's a global thing. It's not just a United States thing. This is a global thing.
Well, UK, she just said with Brexit, they're even more screwed because they can't get any stuff in or out of the country, and that's on top of the COVID problems.
Yeah, because if you actually study what's going on, when you have certain things happen like a pandemic that's worldwide, lots of things are going to get interrupted. And it takes some time for that ripple to catch up. So this is not a tinfoil hat thing. This is not a political thing. This is just a reality thing that these things happen. I've been telling some of y'all since this thing happened to start stocking up, start getting what you need. Try to do your best to have at least a year's supply on hand, a year's plus on hand, because it's just a natural ripple effect. Start getting seeds in ground. Start saving your own seeds. Start trying to hook up with a farmer to be able to buy a quarter of a cow, half a cow, a whole pig, whatever it is that you need. Mm-hmm. Learn skills like hunting and fishing. These things it's gonna be what's gonna end up carrying you through in the long run. Mm-hmm. So.
And if you get used to doing it now, by the time you really need it, it'll be second nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Darren is still on his 6th lockdown.
Darren's got it bad right now. The whole continent of Australia's got it bad right now. Inflation, shrinkflation. Yeah. These things are not going away overnight.
I saw that today. Or yesterday. It was very weird. Even at Aldi, the regular rotini pasta was still in a 16-ounce box, but the rainbow was in a 12-ounce box for the same price. But then when I went to Walmart, they were the same price. So it's like, and then that's another thing, y'all pay attention. Walmart, at least where I'm at, they're being tricky. They will take, I don't know how many of y'all buy generic, but we buy a lot of generic stuff. They will take the generic or their version of something and they will, the shelf. No, they'll put it somewhere where it's not normally at, but then on the shelf itself where it's supposed to be, there'll be none. And so then you go there looking for that, and you go, well, they don't have it right now. Let me go ahead and just get the Del Monte version. Pay twice the price for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you're not paying attention walking through the store on the end cap or in the middle of an aisle somewhere, there's the corn.
Lost Dude brought up inflation and shrinkflation. If you don't know what those are, I would recommend going to the Canadian Prepper on YouTube. He has a video about that where he really shows you, plain and simple. He pulls out some of his like freeze-dried food and stuff that
shows you the difference.
He bought like 2 years ago, a year ago, versus the same one this year.
10% less.
And it's like 10, 15% less in some cases, but it's the same price or
higher. Yeah.
So those are things to keep in mind. I'm not telling you guys to, put tinfoil hats on and be on an episode of Doomsday Preppers. As homesteaders in general, we naturally grow as much as we can and then we put it up. Mm-hmm. We raise as much as we can and then we put it up. We're naturally preppers. But it's just sometimes we fall into a normalcy bias to where we think that the toilet paper is always going to be there. The paper towels are always going to be there. The bleach is always going to be there. This and that is always going to be there. Stuff that, the sugar, the flour, the stuff like that we can't really grow enough to be able to sustain it for a year time frame. So keep those things in mind when you go shopping. Put that extra, don't buy that pack of cigarettes this month, or go to Starbucks or go to Burger King. Put that money towards that extra thing of flour. One of the things that we're going to do, and this is for storage and for space and longevity, is we are going to invest in a wheat grinder, and we're going to buy the wheat berries instead of continuing to stock up on flour. That way we can grind it as we need it, and we'll save a lot of space that way because it can go in 5-gallon buckets. 5-gallon buckets are easier to stack than 50-pound bags of flour. So just some things to keep in mind. I'm probably going to start my preparedness series up again and show you guys some things and stuff that we're going to do, that we're doing, and that you can do along the way in case, with the supply chain hiccups, God forbid things just get even more crazy in this country and whatnot. It's always good to have these things in the forefront of your mind and develop some of these skills, because you never know when that certain skill may just save your life. Anything else you want to say?
Bye.
Wow, that's harsh.
I mean, you've done a 20-minute Southern goodbye, so I'm just...
Well, maybe if you wouldn't interrupt so much.
I haven't said a thing. I'm sitting here watching you on your soapbox.
There's a lot of good folks in here that... Ooh, I just hit the button. That have channels that have a lot of knowledge, a lot of information. Check them out. Freeze dryer in your future.
Can't afford it.
We'll get one. If I gotta sell a kid, we'll get one. He said in the future. He didn't say within like the next 2 weeks. It's in the future. It's one of the things.
60.
We'll have one though. I would like to eventually get one. Negative Nancy over here, I don't know. So. Okay, where's the beard? Well, blame Darren.
Y'all are horrible. Y'all
Blame
don't
Darren.
want us to leave.
Blame Darren. If when it came to the beard, I started getting like sick and not feeling well. Well, I ended up having a tick that got in my beard in here, and I ended up pulling him out and started to feel better. But I just kept kind of itching, and so I got the trimmer. I was just going to trim it down, but I forgot which trimmer I grabbed, and the button that I pushed took it all the way like
he was
down,
baby
down.
like yeah it was like way down. And
Robin thought she was having an affair.
I fussed at him.
So
he said, "Don't worry, it'll grow back."
It'll grow back. And so it's growing back. It's no big deal.
It'll be like within a month. It'll be back up.
Yeah, this is only a week.
Yeah, it's only been a week, and it's already it grows pretty nice.
They want Insomnia Club back, Robin.
Well, you saw me yawning, Lost Dude. You know that ain't gonna happen here. I mean, I always bail on y'all anyway, but you know, Jason's had some things that have been weighing really hard on him over the last couple of months, and he finally exploded in a very gentlemanly way and was able to resolve some of that. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said absolutely. The insomnia was definitely there. You could have, if we'd had a computer, you probably would have.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't have one at the time. So that's pretty much his call as far as doing that. But
I don't know. I don't know. Let me think about it. Let me roll some things around. See, it might be something that I might be able to get away and do this winter. But with us trying to do one...
At least right now, we're still trying to get our fall garden in and get cleaned up from the summer.
Cleaned up and everything. But we're also trying to not have a grocery bill. And that takes a lot. And so I have very long days. And in all honesty, I think I've been working so hard that I'm just too exhausted.
No, but even being exhausted, I would have thought you'd have passed right out.
Yeah, but I don't.
You've had so many things going on. When the stuff happened overseas with the Marines, that wreaked havoc. And for any of you military people that hit hard, I feel ya. We went through the same thing here. We didn't even mention that. This household for about a week was very rough. And it's still not great. Because there's that anxiety. And so his level of sleep has not been the greatest.
Well, I was flat out mad.
Yes.
Angry. Ready to just leave this country mad.
Your videos went from Karen's to where can I go get dual citizenship?
I was this close to going to Ireland or Belize. Yep. I mean, I was like so close.
He had it all planned out.
Belize is really taking the lead for me
the reef.
Because they have the second largest barrier reef. And I've already dove the Great Barrier Reef, and I just think that would be it's on the bucket list kind of thing. But I mean, and then when they left the dogs,
when I came home from work that day, that was a rough day. Yeah, I know, Lost Dude. I gotcha.
Because if you haven't had to have your life depend on one of those dogs, you won't really understand how important they are, how much a part of the team they are, how much part of their family. They're no different than your buddy that's right there beside you, walking the patrol with you. Those dogs are extremely important and extremely valuable, and they are Marines. They are soldiers. They are SEALs. They get the same. I mean, if you're going to give them a Purple Heart or a Navy Cross or even a Medal of Honor, then they should be treated
the
same way as everybody else that gets those same things. So that really, really ticked me off when I found out that they put them in their crates and then left them.
And then, of course, our daughters are animal lovers, and so they were distraught as well. So, Yeah, so it's been pretty emotional here. So, but anyway, all right. Now is your 20-minute. You've met the 20-minute threshold for a Southern goodbye. So now you can wrap it up for real.
You are so mean to me.
I'm not mean to you.
No, you're trying to get a kiss out. You don't be talking bad to me that way. No, girl cooties. Girl cooties. Stop it.
My hat.
Stop it with the girl cooties. So, guys, thanks for coming in and hanging out with us for 2 hours and like 15 minutes.
You need that back on there, baby. Fix that widow's peak there.
It's because you always have me pulling my hair out. No, girl cooties. Girl cooties. Yeah. Now, see, do not touch the man boob. You do not get to
I
touch
wasn't
the man
touching
boob.
the man
Stop
boob.
it.
Don't touch me there.
Stop. Don't touch me there. That's my no-no square.
Okay, y'all, have a good night.
Thanks for coming in, hanging out with us.
We're so glad to see y'all back.
Thanks for staying subscribed, staying with us. Thanks for
curious.
the emails, the messages and stuff that we have gotten, the phone calls and stuff. Guys, thank you for reaching out. Thanks for loving on us that way while we were gone. And be on the lookout for about 3 videos a week and Instagram posts. Hopefully I'm going to be able to start back up tomorrow. And
Monday.
And we're going to jump back in this thing.
And get it going.
Get it going in full swing. So from Robin and me, let's do it like we used to. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. We remind you to plant smiles.
Grow giggles.
And harvest the love, baby. Yeah. Thanks for coming out. And be on the lookout for the videos. And we will see you guys next time. God bless.
Good night, y'all.